Welcome back to the Creative Business Mindset Podcast. I am your host, Jane Bellante. Thank you so much for being here. I am excited to kick off the week with Motivation Monday. So we are kicking off the week talking about why overthinking isn't helping you find clarity. So let's see if this resonates for you. Have you ever circled a decision for days or weeks or maybe even months? Have you rewritten the same post, second guessed your offer, second guessed your art, questioned your own intuition? If your head feels loud and your body feels frozen, this episode is for you. But here is what I have learned. Clarity does not come from overthinking. It doesn't show up because you keep processing every single angle. It actually lands the moment you stop creating stories around situations that haven't even happened yet. The moment you stop trying to find the right answer by mentally sort of muscling through your fear. And the moment you realize that the reason you feel unclear isn't because you don't know, is the moment you stop this overthinking loop. It's because you're trying to control something that hasn't occurred. You're making stories up in your mind, right? And you're trying to control this through a nervous system that doesn't feel safe. This is the actual root of analysis paralysis. And today, I'm going to walk you through how to stop spinning in your stories, return to your truth, and open the door to clarity right now without fixing anything. So let's get started. Welcome to the Creative Business Mindset Podcast, the show where creativity meets strategy and mindset meets success. I'm Jane Bellante, artist, coach, and creative entrepreneur, here to help you break free from self-doubt, clear limiting beliefs, and build a business that aligns with who you truly are. Each week, we dive into the mindset shifts, visibility strategies, and creative breakthroughs that help you turn your passion into a thriving business without burnout, overthinking, or perfectionism holding you back. If you're ready to step into your power, create with confidence, and grow a business you love, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. So you could be with me live in the Limitless Creators Hub, my free Facebook group, or watching the replay on YouTube or listening on Apple or Spotify. Either way, anywhere you are, I'm so grateful that you are here. And I want to get started today talking about overthinking, because we think overthinking feels like progress, and it feels like we're being responsible, like we're preparing, like we're trying to be smart, right? Well, I'm trying to be smart. I'm thinking every single angle, right? But that's the actual lie. Overthinking doesn't actually create safety. It creates separation. So it pulls you further away from your body and further away from your energetic truth, further from the simplicity of what you already know, but you won't let yourself have, like that intuition. Because most of the time, what you're doing isn't thinking, it's actually rehearsing imaginary outcomes. Like, oh, if I say this, they might think this about me. Or if I launch this, what if no one buys it at all and I'm sitting here looking like an idiot? Or if I go live, what if I say the wrong thing? Or what if people judge me for what I'm wearing, how I look, et cetera, right? But what you need to realize is that none of that is actually happening. It's just all projection. And when you react to projections as if they are real, you actually are reinforcing the belief that the present moment is not safe to act from. Hey, Lonnie. Imaginary outcomes, right, Audrey? I know. So clarity doesn't land because your system is too busy scanning for a danger that doesn't even exist. And that is the root of the spiral. And you cannot think your way out of it. You actually have to stop participating in it. So let's name what overthinking really is. It's not about insight. It's actually about avoidance. It keeps you on the edge of taking action without ever stepping into the thing that you actually say you want. And here's what makes that dangerous. It actually feels like effort. It feels like you're working. It feels like you're planning. It feels like you're being intentional. But what you're really doing is bypassing your body and disconnecting from the place where clarity actually lives and retreating into the illusion that one more thought is going to fix it. But thinking will not fix what's energetic. And thinking won't clear what's actually rooted in fear. Thinking will not connect you back to your truth. And the longer you delay, the louder the spin gets. And it just stops us, right? Like we're bamming into the stop sign. Because the more you ignore your knowing, the more unstable your system feels. Overthinking isn't just mental. It's physiological. You feel it in your body. And then your nervous system does not allow you to feel safe to move. That's where you get the anxiety in your body, the stress in your body, that feels like someone's stepping on your chest or your throat is constricted. So this is where the actual work begins. So the moment clarity arrives, I want to talk about these moments. And you know those moments. The moment when something finally clicks, like when you suddenly know what to do. When your energy softens, your breath returns, and your body actually relaxes around the decision. That moment doesn't come from force, right? It doesn't come from force. It generally just drops in. And it doesn't come after 27 different journal prompts or rewriting the same sentence 5 times. It actually comes when you stop gripping, right? The let go, like pretending you have a balloon in your hand and you just let it go. It comes when you finally let go of this fear-driven need to control the outcome. Because guess what? We can't control the outcome. And also, your thoughts create your life. So if you are forcing an outcome, all you're going to get back is force. We want to allow ourselves to return to that quiet underneath, because that's where clarity is. And we bury it under mental noise and self-protection and projected scenarios that were never real. We just keep making it up over and over and over. And then our nervous system goes, yep, that's fear. I feel it in my stomach. We can't let ourselves do that. And so then we pause and stop and don't do anything at all. Clarity rises when your system feels safe enough to stop defending and simply be with what is. And that might mean letting a question be unanswered for a while. It might mean creating stillness. It might mean listening to the version of you that already knows, that intuition, right? But you've been ignoring or forcing down, or your nervous system is telling you it isn't safe to do this. Because clarity is not found in this loop, right? It's found in the pause, the stillness, the silence. And are you ever letting yourself have that? And we all know, because most of the people that come here, listen to this, most of us are creatives, right? And we all know that when we're creating, we are sort of in the flow, right? We lose track of time. It feels good. That's what I'm talking about, is letting yourself pause, creating for yourself, not forcing yourself to hustle. And that gets us out of this loop, this spinning, spiraling loop that happens over and over and over and over and over. So how do we actually reset our system? What do we do when we're stuck in the spin? I want to give you a 4-step practice that works every single time, every time. And I always talk about awareness, right? So it's really super important that you are aware when you're in the spiral. And you can be aware because of the feeling that you have in your body. If you're feeling anxiety, chances are you are spiraling. So here is step number 1, and it is disrupt the loop. So you want to get out of the space where that spiral is happening. Close social media. Do it. Sometimes I'll like throw my phone on the floor, like, get me out of here, right? Put your phone down. Stop watching what everyone else is doing. Because this is about actually interrupting the stimulus. If you don't pause this input, you can't interrupt the pattern. And that keeps us spiraling and spiraling and spiraling. I can feel it in my stomach immediately. Like, what? Ugh, get me out of here, right? So we want to disrupt the loop. If it's a thinking loop that you're doing on your own, feel it in your body and go, you know what? I don't want to feel this anymore. And then you go do something that is fun. You go do something that you love. You think about something that you love. You look at something that you love. You go create. Step out of the spiral. So step 1, disrupt the loop. Step 2 is coming into the body. So you can actually place your hand on your heart and one on your belly or somewhere that you can anchor yourself. There's, some people kind of hug themselves and go like this. Like you can kind of pinch yourself. You can do your fingers. Some people like tapping. But you want to come into the body somehow. And the first thing that really helps is breathing, right? Because the breath and the emotions are always present. So breathe. Take that deep belly breath and then ask yourself, what is actually true right now? Not what you think might happen. And it's not what someone else might do or like people might think. Like, who are people? Who cares, right? So what is actually true right here and right now? Because this simple question brings you back into the present. What is true right now? Okay, step 3 is identifying the fear underneath the thought, because the thought isn't actually the problem. It is the fear that is underneath it. So a question to ask yourself is, what am I afraid will happen if I choose what I already know is right? If I choose what my intuition is telling me, what am I afraid will happen? And then you can sit with that. Because that answer will show you the story that you've been reacting to. And then from there, you can ask, is this true? That's so important. It's so important to ask, is this true? Is this true? And step 4 is choosing one micro move from the body. So we don't want to wait for the right idea to come along. We don't wait for full certainty. Why? Why don't we wait for full certainty? Because 70% is perfect, 100% is overthought, right? Don't wait for full certainty. Just follow your intuition and do it. Act from a grounded yes, not from the projected panic, because you're making it up. It could be one post on social media. It could be one sentence written, one conversation you have with someone, one tiny decision. But the most important thing is to understand that you are stopping yourself. You let yourself stay in the spiral that takes you way, 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 way down into the black hole, right? Or you can let yourself step out of it by acting. And it can be something small, but it has to be something real, because every time you act from grounded clarity, your system learns that it is safe and that you can trust yourself. And that is how clarity becomes easier to access, because you have trained your system to stop panicking and start listening, because the panic is the loop. So let's go over those one more time. Step one is disrupt the loop. Step 2 is come into the body. Step 3 is identify the fear underneath the thought. And step 4 is choose one micro move from the body. One micro move. So who that is here live right now, who is this resonating with? Who is feeling this? Who is thinking, okay, I'm actually going to reset my system so that I can step into my intuition and I can run my business based on that rather than fear. Who is this resonating with? Come on and let me know. Because we don't need to think more. In fact, we need to think less. We need to think less. We need to give ourselves time and space to step away, to be outside, to be grounded in nature, to be silent, to be still. And we need to stop betraying the part of us that already knows, that intuition that we have, that we will not let ourselves step into. That is self-betrayal. Love me some micro moves. Hey, Micaiah. Yes, all of this. Retrain me to operate from intuition. Think less. I'm going to work on that. Yeah, I mean, it's so good, right? The truth you're searching for isn't missing. It's actually been buried under fear and performance and the pressure to be perfect in a world that is unbelievably unperfect. It's just a facade. It's just a facade. It's an illusion. And perfection, no matter what it is, whether you resonate with being a perfectionist or not, it's still what that overthinking spiral is all about. It's a story your subconscious uses to avoid being fully seen. And I'm not saying I don't do this. Like, I totally do, and I have to use these, these tricks and these, for this 4-step practice I just gave you. I have to use it in order to come back. Because clarity doesn't come to the version of you that's performing. And that's why, I would let myself just sit and confuse. I'm so confused. I don't get it, right? But I was performing. Clarity comes to the version of you that is actually honest. Honest about your capacity. What can you actually do? Honest about what feels aligned for you, your family, your personal life, your business, and honest of what you're tired of tolerating. And the big hint here is you are tolerating the negative self-talk because you allow yourself to continue it. That interrupting the pattern, interrupting that loop is so important. I will tell myself, stop it. That is a total lie, and that isn't true. So what are you tolerating from yourself that you are so incredibly tired of? So if you're feeling unclear, it's not because the path forward doesn't exist for you. It's because you have not been still enough to feel what is already inside you and to regulate your nervous system to allow for growth, to allow for that intuition to step in and take you somewhere that you've never gone before. You don't need another plan. You don't need more thoughts. You don't need more proof. You actually just need stillness. And you need the truth of who you are, of who we all are, to surface. You need to stop giving your fear the final say in what you do in your life and in your business. And the next step forward actually becomes obvious when you stop making up stories about how it might go wrong and start listening to what your energy has been telling you, for weeks, months, years, forever, because you already know. And it is safe. It's actually safe to trust that. You've got to regulate that nervous system so that your body feels safe too. Otherwise, it's always going to be a hard no. It's always going to be you banging your face into the stop sign. So get yourself out of that overthinking loop. You know that I tell you the second I feel the anxiety in my body, I ask myself, what did I just tell myself? So that is your first clue. You do not need to let yourself sit in anxiety. You do not need to let yourself sit in anger, sit in fear, sit in overthinking. You can stop it immediately by recognizing the feeling in your body, telling yourself either you recognize the thought you had or you don't, but it is really and truly focusing on things that bring you joy, that you love, that take you out of that overthinking loop. Do I love this? Yes. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. And just remembering that you are 100% possible 100% of the time. And I want to let you know too that for the summer at least, I am stopping the Wednesday podcast and I'm just going to do the Motivation Monday, just to give myself a little bit more freedom over the summer. And so I will be here every single Monday at 10 Central, and you can always listen to the replay on Apple and Spotify. You can watch on YouTube, and as always, I am super grateful that you were here. I would also be super grateful if you shared this with somebody. If you're live in the group with me every single week, invite somebody to come and listen. That would help me so much. And with that, I will see you next week, Monday, right here. Have a great week, everyone.